Well, today it's Sunday, so it's a bit like returning to Sierra Hotel 1 Tango Sunday, because we've got a great GT868. It's got a red sticker on the back. It's a Lake Manxman 950 from 1981, and this looks like it's had a nice power lead put on it at some time. It's got a replacement microphone. Let's check their fuse. And it's got gold-plated banana plugs on the back. So we'll plug it into our power supply. Makes it nice and easy today. No crocodile clips to short out. My fun is spoiled. It could do with a bit of a clean. And look, it's had bump on feet because somebody has used this as a base station. How incredible is that? Bet they've heard all 40 channels at once. So we'll select channel 20 and we'll just see whether it transmits before taking it apart. Helps to plug the antenna in. So I say Mark says this is a non-worker, so we'll see. Okay, so it's doing 150 milliwatts. Is it in low power? Yeah. It's doing 2.7 watts. That's within tolerance, so that wouldn't be a reason Mark would reject it. So let's see if it's on frequency. $27,79125 it should be. It's a bit high, but it's still within tolerance. About deviation. 1.2. That's all right. That's spot on. So what about receive? Aha, let's see. So, squelch down, RF gain up. Oh, it sounds alright. Let's see what cyanide it's doing. Turn this down so that the people who don't like a noise can not have to put up with it too much. So our 12 decibel figure is actually 0.47 of a microvolt, so just under 0.5. So I don't know why it's here for service. It's got a noisy volume control. Perhaps it's as simple as that. I'll do a bit of I think we'll put the lids through the dishwasher. Right, so we'll take that off. Get rid of that bump on, put it in the vertical filing cabinet. Mark must have been unhappy about something. He never labels them with a fault because it's usually obvious. So I don't know. But we'll go through it. But the reason I'm doing this is we've got that Fidelity 1000 which I recapped to finish because the squelch doesn't work on it. So I've deliberately pulled out a great GT868 today, and it's one of my sets, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a lot of voltage readings around that strange squelch circuit, because unlike most CB radios that just use a clever IF chip, a whole FM subsystem in a chip, such as the MC3357, which is very popular, the squelch is within that. But because this works a different way, and it samples the audio coming out of the receiver, or just before it gets to the detector, and it then has a detector diode to kind of do an AM sample. So it's really weird. That's not too dirty, and that's clean on the inside. Oh, I'm going to need to unsolder that. We'll pop that speaker out and then I'll shove that through the dishwasher. You know, that's in lovely condition. Look, even there's no rust. It's a bit of dust from storage. You can't argue over that. And this has got the extra coil in it. That one there, which is the second harmonic trap. No, that doesn't look fiddled with at all. Right, I'll pause the video and I'll start putting some parts in the dishwasher. Right, so that's dishwashered it. And the front's back on. Wow, that looks nice in the glare of the lights. I haven't put the mic back together though yet. Okay, so we'll get on to transmit. I'll tell you what, we may as well just put it on frequency first. So we'll have to go in the tin can. Did I not do that? Okay, so subject to finding the trim tool. Right, into transmit. Make sure we're on channel 20. We're not, we're on 19. I'll put the spectrum analyzer on ready. So we're gaining a little bit just on these early stage. You know, we're now only we're doing 2.8 watts now. And as the service manual says, anything more than 1.7 is an acceptable output. And I've said many times before, these are actually a 3.5 watt set. That's about where we are. And I think the end one is the 54 meg trap. So we'll just put into the spectrum analyzer 2779125. I'm just going to look at the 54 meg. And I'll put that on the screen. So that's our 54 meg harmonic. If I remember rightly, when fitted, it's this one at the back. I'll tell you what, that's as stiff as anything. actually struggling to see a difference, so I'm just going to select the marker. Marker. That's there. Oh yes. And at the moment we've got minus 47 dBm. That's within spec. '47. Probably about there, to be honest. Minus 49 dBm. We'll go back to the fundamental. When we get there. And there's our fundamental. So that's, I'm happy with that. Just I'll just go back on these first ones. It looks like we're at 3 watts. Just check that that hasn't been fiddled with. No, that's correct. Okay, well, we're doing 3 watts, that's how it is. So that's about 12% down from maximum. Now the low power position on these radios isn't adjustable, and it's doing 100 and we're here. Oh, it's doing 220 milliwatts. I'm pointing to that and you're not seeing it. It's doing 220 milliwatts. There's 500 milliwatts, 4, 3, 220. I wonder if Mark rejected because the power was just that little bit down. I meant to do the frequency next, and I'll just do that. Okay, 0.137 is the lowest we'll go. It won't quite go down to 0.125. It's well within tolerance. It's just a little bit high, despite being 38 years old. It's still a little bit high, but that's well within. So we'll move on to, let's have a look at the S meter on the radio. So shall we say the power meter, because that's what we're doing. Better go back to high power. It's right in the middle of the centre there, which is where it should be. The adjustment for the power meter is the skeleton preset just there, so we won't touch that. Now deviation, I'll try and dangle the bits of mic works over my oscillator. We'll key up. Press transmit. We're at 2.2, which looks spot on. Just do a whistle test. Wow, it's a bit high. So just drop that a fraction. Wow. Looks about right. Alright, we'll get on with that receive. just clean that volume control. Do the others while I'm at it, apart from the dimmer, which I really can't be bothered to do. And the squelch works on this one, so that's what we'll be reading. The whole object of this exercise is so I can read the voltages when muted and when not muted, just to help me diagnose the fault, the remaining faults on that scrap Fidelity 1000 I did with the recap. So I'm dying to get that on the as on the air test. So let's look where we are with this. Well, we can't do the detection the usual way because it's a weird method, and so we're going to go the whole thing on cyanide, and we'll move over to that meter now. So it was 0.47 for 12 decibel cyanide. So we'll park that at about 4 decibels and just see whether we can bring this up. I'll tell you what, we did with the first one and the second. So we'll go back on those. It's nice to see a radio that's not had major fiddling. So now we're going to bring that up to do these IF ones at about 10 decibels. Just drop that a bit. Wow. Just drop that a bit more. I'll tell you what, I reckon we're there. So now for 12 decibels. I think we can go. Oh, we're down a scale. I'll tell you what, we're actually doing 0.25. It's just over the 2.5. So I'll just see if we can just knock it down to the 2. No, we're there. We are there because it's waving around a bit. So we're looking at 0.252. You know, really just over the 2.5 for 12 decibel cyanide. So let's look at 10. We're looking at 0.225 for 10, and for 20 we're looking at 0.6. So that's very good. We know it's a bleed over box, I don't need to be told that, but in a rural area and when used in vehicles in the countryside, these work great. And that was no pun intended with them being made by Great in Taiwan. So let's go to S9, which is 100 microvolts for a CB in the UK, and we should have S9 showing on the meter. It's actually spot on the S9. I think we could bring it up a micro something or other, so we'll just do that. If I can remember which one's the meter and which one's the squelch. I think it's that one. No, I'm wrong. It's that one. So we've got that now to exactly 9. And now we'll look at that squelch. We'll turn the signal generator to standby. I'll just put this on the attenuator control so you can see what I'm doing. So we've piloted at 0.3 of a microvolt, and we're going to now turn it to on. Set the squelch threshold to full, and we'll bring this in until we Yeah, I want 100 microvolts. That's it. Coming into 100 microvolts and disappearing off. So now we'll turn the signal generator off, park it at 0.3 of a microvolt, and set the threshold. Bring the signal generator on, and it's straight in. It's coming in at 0.3 of a microvolts, going out at 0.2. I mean, you couldn't ask for better. So that's all there is to it. It's been very straightforward. There's no fault on the radio. It's just a matter of it wanted a little bit of a tune-up. So I'm going to leave these screens off. I'm going to do some voltages, which is why we're doing it, just to help me with sorting out that Fidelity 1000 scrap set that I'm really wanting to get fully working. So catch you in a bit when I've finished that. So that's it, we've put it through the dishwasher. Just to conclude, I would like to see the Zitagi meter. So switch it on from cold, we're on channel 20, and just make sure we're on camera 1 on this picture in picture. And let's have a quick look. So 3 watt scale. Just about full scale deflection, so it's like 2.9 watts. So we'll just look at it on the Zitagi meter, and if you remember the spectrum analyzer, it was all well within spec. Let's see what this says. Make sure it's in watt mode, because I made an error in one of the videos and it wasn't. So it's about 3.25 on that, which just shows how there aren't spurious emissions. So put it on the aerial instead. I put the microphone casing through the dishwasher and I've lost the black filter. So I've looked in the dishwasher and in all the filters for the filter. There you go, how about that? But to no avail. So we've got, you can see the works of mine. I think what I'm going to have to do when we've got lockdown over is go to a charity shop and buy a knackered pair of thin trousers, black, and with a wad punch, we have wad punches in our organ workshop, cut some discs out of the cloth, because this isn't the only time we've run into this problem, and then it'll be right, won't it? One on Roger. Now all those people who are operating off frequency with illegal radios will come through fine on this, because it's such a wide receiver. So, not that I wanted to listen to them, but you know what I mean. So that concludes this. That's the Lake 950 now sorted out. I've taken a few voltages for my reference with the Fidelity 1000. So we're doing on the air test actually right away. Mr. C's in the driveway. So we'll swap over to the camcorder. Thank you for watching.